Alright, we're here at Pew Farms. We're on the home place where I was raised. Made one round around here and starting in on the second, or well, over halfway done with the second round. Oh, I got some pushing up. But we usually cut this. Today's, I think, the 21st of August. We usually cut this and then let it set for a couple weeks, and then we'll turn cattle out on it and let them graze it in the fall. It's brome, mainly brome, but after the floods came through here in 2005, there got to be a lot of red clover in it. Right where I'm at right here, there was probably almost 2 foot of water. That's the first time anybody in this area had seen this flood this bad. But we had like 11 inches in 4 hours. But we took us several years to clean up all the bottles and stuff like that was deposited in the pastures and here in this hay ground. It took the fence out along the road and strung it down through the timber. The timber south of here, everybody calls it no man's land. It's Indian ground that's owned by several families of Indians. And yeah, Copper came along today. He's watching for any rabbits or anything like that might jump out. Not that he's going to do anything about it, but he enjoys it. We used to raise corn down in here, but it just doesn't lay that great where you got a reliable crop every year. Some of it stays pretty wet in the low areas. So we pretty much just, if it's a real dry year, we won't even cut it. We'll just go ahead and turn cows out on it. But I don't know, I think there's like, I don't remember if it's 8 acres or what it is for sure. Not a real big spot, but we've gotten 40 bales and better off of it. But we'll see what it does this year. It's probably about the heaviest I've seen it for the whole pasture, or for the whole field anyway. There's normally heavy spots, but this year the whole thing is pretty heavy. That up there is the house that I was raised in. My oldest sister lives there now. The barn where we used to milk cows. Now we just use the barn for sorting calves and stuff when we go to band them and work the cows. At that timber south of here, it's 3/4 mile square of just timber. There's just a couple little access roads back in that the Indians use for cutting wood or stuff that way. But it's pretty much non-inhabited except for by wildlife. Little Soldier runs down through it, and then this other creek here to the west winds into it towards the southern edge of it. That timber ahead of us, that's when my mom passed away. My brother's wife got in the settlement. We split off some acreage there. I think there's 3 acres or something timber that she kept, and that'll probably never have anything built on it, or shouldn't have anything built on it. When I was a kid, I'm talking in the mid-60s, there was still some bones that were recognizable where the Indians used to bury their chief up in a tree overlooking the low area. So that's kind of been slated as a burial ground, because I think there's other graves there too. But so nothing should be done with that ground except let nature take its course. Use the ground for a hunting area or something that way. The deer always like to come down through there. And Mom and Dad, back in '57, bought this ground and the house. And just to the east of the house was the property line at that time. And I think, I can't remember if it was $25 an acre or $50 an acre is what they bought it for. And I remember Dad talking about when they bought the east half of it, that price of ground had gone up so high he didn't know if it was worth buying. He gives $75 an acre for it. Times have changed a little bit since then. Not necessarily for the better. And I'll bring you back here after a bit. Yeah, just had to go out and clean the radiator off for the second time. There's so much seed on this brome and the clover that, geez. Yes, I know the brake was on. Anyway, it's plugging up the screen, even with the vacuum kind of that goes around to clean the screen off. It doesn't keep up. So I've got to watch it. And the temperature starts climbing up a little bit, got to get out, wipe off the screen, and then it'll be all right for a while. This is probably the heaviest this has ever been that I can know of. And before that, it was row crop, so probably the heaviest brome that's ever been on it. we used to grow quite a bit of sweet corn down here, just down the hill from the barn. Yeah, and we planted quite a few potatoes. Dad would plow them up when they were ready. We'd pick up potatoes. Quite a bit of clover in this. And this has not been fertilized probably in, well, it hasn't been fertilized since 2005, I know that. But that clover has built this ground up. And the cattle have built the ground up too. Yeah, there's no way that we would rake this hay together, two windrows together. But that's one thing you'll notice in our videos. We do have a wheel rake, but we very seldom ever use it. Every time you rake that hay, you lose protein, because you're going to lose the seed out of it. We lose enough seed just cutting it. But if you rake it, you're going to lose even more. That's my opinion. It's like one of the old guys that used to live in the area sold feed. He'd always tell people, if you cut the brome seed off of that brome, you might as well put that money in the bank that you sold that seed for, because you're going to need it to buy extra protein to feed your cattle, because you're going to be short. So, hardly anybody anymore talks about that. They just take what they get. But with this here, as much clover's in it, and as much brome seeds in it, yeah, I'm sure it would test pretty high on protein. Now if we can just get it baled up without getting the rain on it, because the forecasters can't get it right. Today is Wednesday, and Thursday night they've got a 20% chance of rain, and then Friday morning supposedly 10%. But the way they've been forecasting, it might as well be 50% probably, but we're taking a gamble, because this won't be dry till Friday probably. It's just too heavy for it to dry real quick, and it's kind of down in the hole here with this timber all around. So it don't get a whole lot of wind. But hopefully the sound on this video's not doing too bad. I had a little bit of issue with a video a while back using this mic, and never did really figure out what was going on. So maybe it was just a bad connection, or maybe this video isn't going to be very good because the volume or the sound isn't right. We'll find out. So many people in this world don't really understand what farmers go through just to try to break even. People that hear about, the record prices for cattle, or you got to have the cattle to sell. And whenever you have record prices, you're also going to have record inputs. Barbed wire, just for a roll of barbed wire, used to be $30-some, $36, $39. Now you're lucky if you can get a roll for $100. Every time they think you're going to get ahead a little bit, they just raise the prices on what you've got to have to produce it. We probably got a couple miles of fence that we really should rebuild. One, it takes time. Two, it takes money. Then you decide, well, maybe we just keep that electric fence going for another year or two. But then it'll just take more time and more money. Can't win for losing. I'm running right at about 4 miles an hour, but she's pretty heavy. A lot of the grass is as tall as the tires, drive tires on this thing. That old barn used to have 2 stalls in it for calves, bottle calves or whatever. And then I had stanchions, I think, for up to, I don't remember if it was 12 cows for milking at a time. I don't know if Dad ever had more than about 10 that he was milking. Each one of those cows, especially the older ones, they had their spot. And if one of the younger ones got in their head gate or in the stanchion in the wrong place, they were getting pushed around. They didn't do it very often. They learned fairly quick the pecking order. Dad had a big cooler and it looked like a big chest type freezer, but it was just a cooler and kept it around 34 degrees. That's what you had to lift up a milk can about 3 foot over the edge of it and drop it down inside there. And I think every 3 days or something like that, had a truck from down around Silver Lake would come up and pick up the milk cans. Everything was done manually. You picked them up out of there. And I remember trying to kind of drag them or kind of roll them a little bit, but I was only probably about 8 years old, 6 years old. About the time we quit milking. I think we quit milking early 70s when had to have everything stainless steel. That put a lot of people out of business. But anyway, that old barn, we used to, on the east edge of this 120 acres was a field that we had alfalfa in. We also had alfalfa up on the Mayetta Road. They used to have 160 acres long, but it's 158 road now. But we had about 10 acres of alfalfa up there and a good 10 acres on the east side of this property. And we would fill that barn in the summer with square bales of alfalfa. Oh, it's starting to plug up. Probably got a nest or something started. Anyway, but we put that alfalfa in there, put a layer of alfalfa down, and then we take rock salt and spread over the top of it. Make sure it wasn't heat. And about, I don't know, probably in the late 60s, Dad got him a roto baler, little small round bales. So that was the end of, well, we still put alfalfa in the barn, but we had to stack it a little bit different to make sure it didn't push the sidewalls out. I remember a lot of years dragging hay in that hay mound. I usually wasn't big enough to stack it, but I'd try to drag it back from the elevator. We had a chain type elevator that bring it up from a wagon. That elevator is still up there in that hay mound. My sisters talked about having us tear that thing down and salvaging some of the wood out of it. Kind of hard to do. Every time you tear something down, the memories kind of fade away. Used to have school dances up in that hay mound. My sisters were in school. Then it was the Mayetta Indians. That's the name of the school then, before it was unified to Royal Valley. But originally Mayetta was the Indians and Voigt was the Cowboys. They were two separate schools. Alright, well, I'll see if I can get this finished up. We'll bring it back a little bit later. Well, we got this patch here, all swath. Didn't see hardly any rabbits. I think we only saw one come out of this. But a couple rats. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how many bales we get from this. Like I said, hopefully it don't rain on us before we get it baled, but we'll find out. These wren willows are pretty heavy. I'm guessing we may be in the 50 bale range, I'm not sure. I'll try to look up and see how many acres this is for sure, because I can't remember. One thing with age, you tend to forget a few things. Anyway, it's maybe all for today. I'm going to go up and cut the grass behind the church and get that done. But if you like the content, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Alright, just brought you back. We just got this finished up behind the church here. Got this all cut. It's pretty heavy. So, we did fertilize it this year. So, it'll make some pretty good hay. Anyway, have a good one.